WBAY TV. Build charts. This is Action 2 News at 10, your first alert station.
A little over an hour ago, veterans with the Old Glory Honor Flight touched down at Appleton Airport. It's the organization's 70th time flying local vets to D.C. There they visited Arlington National Cemetery and other memorials. So far, organizers have helped nearly 6,000 veterans throughout northeast Wisconsin make the trip to our nation's capital. Things a little bit different though tonight. She was described as everyone's Jenny, a member of the Old Glory Honor Flight family. Jenny Vanden Heuvel of Kaukauna died last Wednesday after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. She was just 36 years old. Family and friends say she always wanted to help others and volunteer with anything and everything she could. Jenny's many contributions have left a lasting mark on the number of lives she touched. In a story you will only see here on Action 2 News, Samantha Cavalli sat down with those who knew her as they reflect on how they'll remember their Jenny.
This was the scene of a group of strangers becoming like family. And right there in the middle of it all is Jenny Vanden Heuvel, a remarkable woman with the most infectious smile.
She had the biggest smile, always. Every time you see her, she had this big smile on her face.
In February 2019, Jenny, along with Bob Stillman, Glenn Zimmerman, and 50 other veterans, traveled to Vietnam to take part in the Old Glory Honor Flight's Return to Nam mission. Glenn remembers the first time he and Jenny became close. He put his challenge coin in the crack at the most notorious prisoner of war camp, better known as the Hanoi Hilton.
Tears were just running down my cheeks. And she came over, helped me up, gave me a hug, said it's all right. She just understood. She knew.
Bob says Jenny, who was the media coordinator for the Return to Nam mission, always made time to talk with each veteran, even during her busiest days.
You didn't feel at all pressured or embarrassed by what you might say or how she's going to, see what you're saying, and then maybe judge you. There was none of that with Jenny.
For many of our veterans, I think we've learned through the years that sometimes they just need somebody to listen, and she really provided that.
Old Glory Honor Flight Executive Director Diane McDonald knew Jenny for more than 10 years. She says Jenny never sat still. She was always doing something and brought her creative spirit to every project.
I think that was one of the things that I was always so envious of. Everything was so effortless for Jenny. It just felt like she just had a plan and she just did it.
Prior to returning home from Vietnam, Diane had a vision of Jenny putting together a scrapbook for the veterans on the trip. Instead, Jenny went above and beyond, creating this 500-page hardbound book called Return to Nam, showcasing the stories, photos, and interviews with all 52 veterans who went on the mission. The book is now housed in the Library of Congress.
That book is a symbol of how Jenny's going to live on in everybody's lives that knew her. Her husband, her kids, her family, her friends. She meant so much to so many people.
In May 2022, while pregnant with her third son, Jenny was diagnosed with breast cancer. After he was born, she started chemotherapy. About a year after Jenny's treatment, Glenn invited her to come out to an Old Glory Honor Flight brat fry in Darboy. Together, they shared a brat and a hug.
She was sitting across the table, and she reached over and took my hand. Excuse me. And then she said, I've got a wonderful, wonderful dad, but if I didn't have one, I would want you to be it. That really touched me.
Earlier this year, Jenny's cancer came back full force, affecting her liver and bones before taking her life in late August.
Why would this happen to somebody that has given so much, has so much to offer, and has the ability to change so many people's lives? Why would it happen to someone like Jenny?
Donations to a GoFundMe will help Jenny's husband Dave and their 3 boys pay medical and funeral expenses.
They were building a future together. They had a plan, and she's not here anymore. Her kids don't have a mom. Dave doesn't have his best friend.
Did Jenny change your life?
I think so. I think she changed all of our lives.
changed for the better. Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.
Such a special lady.